right, so we had a great last night on board. Good show. Felt like the singers were definitely foreign. You could kind of tell the accent when they were singing songs, but they were hitting the notes. So overall, pretty happy with the performance there. It's really the only activity I did besides dinner. Had to get packed up and out the door here early. My thoughts on Blue Lagoon. Felt like the lagoon itself was really pretty. That experience was good. Lunch tasted pretty good. I'd heard some complaints online about lunch, and it felt like it was pretty good for what I got. Once you get to the island, they had a lot of things closed. It seemed like I would have walked by, like seeing the sea lions or the dolphins. Seemed like those areas were all kind of closed off. So just expect, if you're buying a day pass to Blue Lagoon, you're really just going to sit on the beach, maybe get some drinks. But it was fun. It was fun. 3.5, 4 hours on the island, and it was nice coming back and not getting completely splashed. So now we are going to do what we came here to do. It is MSC Divina to Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, back on the Oasis class. Symphony of the Seas is up in Fort Lauderdale, so I'm going to take the Brightline train again. Have an Uber scheduled for 8:30, so we're going to grab some breakfast here on the ship real quick and then go and clear customs. Had my last breakfast on board. There was only 2 breakfasts that I had on board because this was such a short cruise. Didn't overindulge because I knew I was getting right on another cruise ship, but it was a beautiful day in Miami. Not so beautiful of a line getting off the ship, but moved pretty fast. I just feel like the embarkation and debarkation on board MSC was a little slow. So while I do have an Uber credit that I could have used on this Brightline, I can't really easily change the time, and I ended up getting off the ship a lot quicker. So what I'm gonna do is actually walk to the Brightline station, get some exercise. About a 2-mile walk. So it should be nice, no rain or anything like that, so it should be easy. Walk by some cruise ships, cross the bridge, and then I'm there. Overall, a pretty easy walk from the cruises over to the Brightline station in downtown Miami. There was one little small section where the sidewalk disappeared on me, but it wasn't any big deal, and I didn't have a lot of bags. Obviously, this is for people that don't have a lot of bags with them, just had a small carry-on, and that rolled nicely. It was easy to get back on board Brightline, had a little premium lounge access, had a nice Bloody Mary on the train. Not really a big Bloody Mary fan, but this little bag of fancy Bloody Mary mix looked pretty interesting, so decided to try that out. Similar views going back up, just like the way I came 2 days earlier, and made it to the cruise terminal in Port Everglades up in Fort Lauderdale. Quick little Uber ride there, dropped me off. Really nice looking terminal. A lot of ships coming in and out of Port Everglades now. So it was a little bit different getting into this port versus Port Miami. There's like a big security check, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But met up with my brother-in-law, Robert. You'll see him throughout the videos here. We were excited for our 6-night voyage here on board the Symphony of the Seas. Got there a little bit too early, so the ship hadn't begun boarding yet, but it was a quick, maybe 10-minute, 15-minute wait, and they let us on board. We were one of the first groups to be let on board, so that was really, really easy. I love Royal Caribbean's boarding process. It's just one of the easiest things on Earth. Can't thank them enough for working through all the details, putting thousands of passengers on these big ships in the most seamless way possible. Now, Robert had never been on board an Oasis class ship, so I was pretty excited to see his reaction to the Royal Promenade. We both have cruised a bunch, obviously myself a little bit more than him, just because I'm running this channel here. I'm obsessed with cruising, but it's just such a sight for the first time to see just how big this Royal Promenade actually is on board these Oasis class ships. So excited to check everything out, even though, I've been on a few Oasis class ships at this point. This is one of the newest ones that I've been on, actually the newest one that I had been on. So I was excited to see the differences. First things first, of course, is we ran over to the spa, did a little spa tour. Liked the kind of thermal suite aspect here. No like pouring water onto hot rocks to make the sauna happen. After that, we went ahead and tried out Jamie's Italian for lunch. So we did have the unlimited dining package on this voyage, and we're going to be doing a full breakdown of that on the channel. But this was the only day that Jamie's was open for lunch, and didn't really want to try it for dinner on this cruise. So decided, hey, this is going to be a great chance to try Jamie's on Embarkation Day. Now, I've had Jamie's Italian before on other Royal Caribbean ships. First time being on board a ship this year with one, so I wanted to try it out, give it another chance. It wasn't really my favorite the last time I sailed, but the meat plank was really good. Had a nice little side salad, was trying to stay healthy, but oh no, I ordered pasta. So got a really, really good bolognese. That was really delicious, honestly. Robert got the fish. He was a lot more healthy than me. But overall, really good quality food at Jamie's Italian. I definitely recommend it. I think I still prefer Giovanni's menu, but that was a really good lunch. We skipped dessert, but dessert is included if you want to indulge. So we booked a spacious ocean view cabin with a nice cool bridge view out the forward part of the vessel. Really, really spacious room, lots of room for us to spread around. Bathroom itself, pretty normal sized bathroom, but really well appointed. Overall, really love the cabin. The location is a bit of a walk from most of the stairwells and elevators, which can be a benefit to many people and, you know, kind of a detriment to some. For us, it was fine. Just know on these Oasis class ships, if you forget something back in your room and you're on the other end of the ship, it is a long walk. You can get a lot of steps though, so just keep that in mind if you're sailing on Symphony of the Seas. We are not sleeping in the same bed though, so we did ask our cabin steward to separate those as soon as we headed over to explore the rest of the ship. That was one thing. Sometimes, you know, they just don't get the memo, and it was a quick fix and no big deal. Always very quick to fix any issues you might have in the cabin. The cabin stewards are just absolutely amazing on board. Nice little desk area here and a cool little couch too. And one interesting thing, since we did have a slanted wall, since we were out the forward part of the ship, you actually had an electric blind, which if you're someone who's sensitive to light, that blind doesn't really do much, I will say. So we had early mornings most of the time on this trip, so it didn't really bother me, but I'm a light sensitive person, and if I want to sleep in, I'm gonna need that thing to be fully closed. This was my second cruise on Royal Caribbean as an Emerald member. Kind of a mini status, I would say. Not really a ton of benefits. One thing that will be in your cabin for you are 2 waters, so those were waiting for me. That was great. But then it was a time to explore the ship a little bit more. People were enjoying the pool deck. Of course, it is Embarkation Day. We did have some poor weather kind of on sail away, but some of the day was really, really nice and sunny. A lot of ships, though, in here at Port Everglades. I then went up to the scuba shop because I was planning on doing a scuba excursion in Nassau. I ended up canceling that, but you got to take your C card up there and sign some waivers for that, so that was done and handled very quickly. Not the prettiest of ports. There's a lot of like refineries going on. But while Robert took a nap, I headed over to the Ultimate Abyss because it had just opened and there was no line. So I wanted to slide down that. Saw some ships sailing away though, including the Celebrity Ascent, which I really want to get on board. Walking around the ship a little bit more though, checking in the views, the main dining room, which we were committed to not going to at all this trip because we had the ultimate dining package, the unlimited dining package. So Chops Grille was up for dinner the first night. Of course, a Royal Caribbean classic. It's on every ship. Really, really nice environment in here. Your classic steakhouse. It's nice that on the Oasis class ships, it's on Central Park, so you actually have some outdoor seating as well. Good little bread basket. Of course, bread's always great on a cruise ship. Every cruise ship I've ever been on, the bread's been great. I had a nice little ahi starter. That's my favorite starter on the Chops menu. A little chopped salad there, wedge salad. And we went over to the mushroom soup, which is my favorite thing pretty much on any menu anywhere. Good little steaks happening here. I went with the petite filet, or actually the filet, and they indulged me and they added some shrimp as well, so I had a little surf and turf going on. And I saw that key lime meringue pie and there was no way I was skipping dessert. That thing looked awesome and it was massive. Did not finish that. It was so good though. Then we had reservations for Hiro, which is the Aquatheater show on board Symphony of the Seas. I want to try to knock this one out because I've had a lot of trouble in the past trying to get into this show. Sometimes the weather's bad, sometimes there's things that happen, things break, so they can't do the show. So we definitely wanted to make sure that I got here, even though we were both pretty tired for this show. It was really, really cool though. Obviously like kind of a samurai theme going on, some diving. I think I preferred the show that I saw on Oasis of the Seas only because it's 80s themed. I love the 80s. But this was really cool, and of course, the performers are just absolutely amazing. So do not miss this if you're on board Symphony of the Seas. That's the really great thing about these Oasis class ships is there are 1,000 things happening for you at night. There's the ice skating show that we'll do. We tried to hit every single piece of entertainment while on board. Everything that required reservations, we got reservations for and attended, so We're going to check all that out throughout this video series. If you made it this far and you want to see the rest of the series, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video, helps us out. But I'm excited to show you the rest of my cruise on board the Symphony of the Seas. We're sailing to Labadee, Haiti, which we were one of the last ships to go to Labadee before they shut it down due to some unrest. Then heading over to Falmouth, Jamaica, and then finally Nassau with a few sea days sprinkled in there. So stick around for the rest of these videos as they post the rest of this week, and we will see you on the next day, which is a sea day. Thanks a lot for watching.